Welcome to the Psychic Files, my place on YouTube, where I will share with you all the behind the scenes, secrets, taboos, and myths from my everyday work as a psychic. So, one of the commenters asked about telepathy, which gave me ideas for about 10 new videos, which are uploading and being created now. But it also suddenly reminded about my origin story as a psychic, which I kind of completely forgot about. But I think it's interesting to share. So, a little bit of background information about me. I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, which means that I was able to build my first website when I was 8 years old. I saw that internet rise, but also the boom of the internet economy. Um, I saw a world of endless expanding consumption kind of crash economically. So I think, as everyone in my generation of millennials, I'm very science and information minded, but at the same time, hanging towards um, some some kind of lack that we all felt of philosophy and esoteric knowledge that is very foundational, core principles of wisdom. So even though I was an atheist and super scientific, the text, alchemical text of Hermetic, basically a standard text of Hermetic magic. The tabula rasa was mentioned in The Alchemist of Paulo Coelho, and I found that text so beautiful. It's the one where we find the very famous Hermetic phrase, as above, so below, as within, so without, and about um, separating the finer things to enter a process of transmutation and purification. So I love that so much. It also connects to my kind of first experience of God, which was in physics class, when the physics teacher explained that everything we see, and he was also an atheist, that everything we see is made up of particles. So, for example, um, this pen is just as much made up as particles as my hand or the air in between. The only difference is that they are particles vibrating at a different frequency, which makes for the illusion that something is solid or not, but it's actually not. It's just more, there's more space between the particles or not. And yeah, I think that just made me realize that everything is connected. And from there on, I never really looked at God as anything else than a scientific formula or a way to explain how everything is connected. Nothing personal until I had more shamanic experiences when I was older. And the whole reason that I had those experiences, that I was open to plant medicine and things like that when I was about 25, was because I discovered that my boyfriend was cheating when I was 21 through telepathy, very concretely, um, which was kind of traumatic. The traumatic part was seeing his shock and his terror at my supernatural reading of his dumb shit. Yeah, but it was a very important experience, because if I wouldn't have experienced that, I don't think I would have been as open to, for example, trying things like ayahuasca. And the first name that ayahuasca had in the West was in the early 20s, I think, by an American researcher who dubbed it, I think for the CIA even, telepathy. Telepathy. So a drug which enables people in groups to telepathize together. During ayahuasca ceremonies, I had very, very profound, shocking experiences that absolutely, without doubt, proved to me that telepathy was just as real as the chair I'm sitting on. Because the phrasing of certain key sentences that clients would tell me or I would tell them was something that they or I would never be able to imagine themselves. And it was also a proven fact that the room was silent. because there are such strong boundaries and rules for ceremonies. So yeah, I guess that kind of opened me up to a lifelong study of the metaphysical, um, from quantum physics to all ancient traditions, from yoga to trying to talk to your cats, which I think we've all done at some point, especially when we do yoga. Um, yeah, I think the reason I became a psychic was because I felt that it became more and more of a mission to integrate. Well, not just was the work that I was doing completely sprung from my occult practices, and it was very clear to me that I would have never been able to have the career success that I had without the inspiration coming from somewhere else. And for example, the way in which I founded my first companies, constructed groups. It's not about just divine inspiration or something, but more about alignment and also using occult wisdom and principles of how to organize things and how to organize processes. And that led me to be a strategist, just kind of by accident, because I was just able to do these things and very excited about energy, especially when it's on a global scale and involving multiple groups of people and live, like using the internet and things like that, and using emotions. And but then, especially when I as a strategist discovered that my telepathic work, channeling work, all that kind of stuff was way more important than the actual masses of data that I had to process, which I was only able to do in a hyper-focused state after all this divine inspiration, already kind of channeling the core principle of what I was gonna do. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be a strategist or a media person by day and a shaman by night, because I was already doing lots of shamanic ceremonies for like a decade. I kind of discovered that I look down on psychics because there's so many charlatans, and the way that most clients come to them, or at least it seems, is not really to be coached, or yeah, it seemed toxic in a way, and also like going down after having so much career success, doing a very relatively low paid job, just being open to anyone, no more exclusivity and stuff like that. When I kind of heard myself think those things consciously, I was like, okay, there's a big ego thing here going on, and how exciting would it be to just open myself up to any possible client and really practice these skills under any circumstances. And gosh, I'm so glad I did, because yeah, the way in which these skills progress by the day, by the minute, working together, collaborating with clients, co-creating energy, shifting energy, transmutating energy, is exactly what I was always looking for, translating my soul evolution inspiration into work. Now really being able to do both things at the same time. I actually am connected to a lot of big businesses and lawsuits and things that would excite me a lot in my old careers, but I'm able to have the capacity to hold much more and many more people at the same time by having this detached role, and just deciding that what I'm good in and what I love doing is enough and is good enough. And yeah, that is something that I would advise all my clients to do. So this was my villain or fairy origin story. Let me know what you would like to hear me talk about next. I would like to answer your questions, delve into kind of industry secrets, anything you would like to hear. So like, share, subscribe, and see you next time.